Hey, this is Stacy from Let's Cook, y'all. Welcome back to our channel. We are back with a new What's for Dinner video. We've got a whole lot of meals for you guys this week. Several that we cooked at home, and we've shown you how we make each one of them. We've got a bonus quick new dessert recipe that we tried, a quick dessert for two. We've got a breakfast dish that we show you. And at the end, we've got several meals that we ate out. It's the busiest time of year. We've been out going to Christmas parties, shopping, and things. So I hope you enjoy this week's video. I'm going to try something new tonight. I've been making potato soup many different ways. I don't think I've tried it in the Instant Pot. I've done it in the crock pot. I've got several recipes I use on the stovetop. But never have I ever used an almond milk soup base. As you can tell, I bought this marked down while we were on a break. I bought a lot more food for my pantry and freezer, so this one needs using. It actually has a creamy potato soup recipe on the side of the almond milk soup base container. I'm going to probably kind of mash up and combine this recipe with one that I've made on the stovetop before. Hopefully it will turn out as good as the ones I make either with whole milk or canned evaporated milk. So we're going to give this a shot. If you've used a product like this before, leave us a comment and let me know. I don't know about y'all, but we're a two-person household, and I about decided 10 pounds of potatoes might last us several weeks. I'm not making any dent in this thing I bought a couple weeks ago at Kroger. I'm glad potatoes keep pretty well this time of year. In my soup pot, I put some olive oil, and then I added my choice of vegetables, which are onions and carrots. Feel free to add celery if you like. I sauteed it a little bit and then added my garlic at the end. Once my veggies were soft enough, I added my cut and peeled potatoes and then started adding my seasonings. Parsley, thyme, salt and pepper to taste, and then my chicken broth, enough to cover. I decided to add a few more seasonings. I put in some garlic powder, some onion powder, and my favorite thing to add to most soups, a pinch of chipotle chili powder. I cooked the potatoes until they were fork tender. Tim likes meat in his potato soup, so sometimes I brown hamburger meat on the side and add it, or ham. I didn't have any regular ham, so I just cut up some deli meat I had in the fridge. I like to take my potato masher and smash just a few of the potatoes to make it a little thicker and leave some of them in bigger chunks. Then, rather than regular milk, I use this almond milk soup base. I decided to get wild and crazy, and I even threw in some shredded cheese. Took a shortcut. Instead of frying up bacon, I just crisped up some bacon bits in a big bag from Sam's. So we're going to have potato soup that I made and see how this works. I didn't have any green onions, so we just garnished it with chives. They're still alive out in my garden. I'm bringing them in when the weather gets below freezing. Got some cheese and crisped up some bacon bits. We had leftover hot dog buns, so I made cheese toast out of those. Potato soup is what's for dinner. Another easy weeknight meal is taco salad or tacos. We're going to have a salad. We actually hadn't had taco salad in months, I would say. I'm going to have the red quinoa chips from Sam's. Tim's got regular ones, and we've got a Mexican feast. That's what's for dinner tonight. I'm starting early this morning. I've got one last rack of ribs that I bought on sale this summer. They were in my freezer from Kroger. Rather than doing them in the Instant Pot, I'm going to use that later for my potato salad. I tried a recipe while we were on our break from a website called Oh Sweet Basil for some crock pot ribs, and I will leave a link to that recipe. So I'm going to get the membrane off the ribs, mix up a dry rub that's got these seasonings in them, get it in the crock pot all day, and then when they finish, we will make up the sticky sauce and broil them in the oven and make crock pot sticky ribs. Since I only have one rack of ribs, I'm going to half the dry rub mixture, but I'm probably going to go ahead and leave the sauce that cooks in and that you baste with at a full measure because we like a lot of sauce. So I'm going to do half of the dry seasonings for the rub and rub the ribs and get them in the crock pot. Now I'm going to mix up the Asian sticky sauce and use half of it in the crock pot as the ribs cook and save the other half to baste with at the end. Now after mixing up the sauce ingredients, I think I must have halved it as well as the dry rub the first time, so note to self, if you're only doing one rack, go ahead and halve the sauce ingredients as well. Put your ribs with the dry rub in the crock pot and pour half of the sticky sauce over it. You can cook them all day on low. I did 1 hour on high and the rest of the day on low. Since my ribs were in the crock pot, I took out my Instant Pot and did one of my favorite things. It takes 4 minutes to cook the potatoes and the eggs. While they were cooking and I waited for the pin to drop, I chopped up some pickles and got out the rest of my ingredients to assemble my potato salad. While the eggs were in an ice bath for about 5 minutes, I got my fork tender potato chunks out and into a mixing bowl and mixed up the rest of my ingredients. I use mayonnaise, some kind of mustard. Today I used yellow. Sometimes I use half yellow, half Dijon. I use both the chopped pickles and some pickle juice, a lot of salt and pepper, and my secret ingredient is this Morton's Nature's Seasoning. One of the best things about an Instant Pot, perfect peeling eggs. Taste and adjust, or check and adjust. That's the way I cook most of my meals. My cardiologist would not be happy, but potatoes love salt. The only downside to cooking ribs all day in a crock pot is that they basically are falling apart or falling off the bone, so they did not come out in one nice smooth rack. I put the rest of the sauce on there, basted it. Tim offered to put them on the grill for me, but I have put them on a broiler pan and broiled them in the oven for about 3 minutes. So the sticky ribs are out of the crock pot. Rather than putting them under the broiler, Tim was here and he offered to put them on the grill for me. Thank you, sweetheart. That was very considerate.
Welcome.
So we've got crock pot sticky ribs. He's got baked beans. I made potato salad. I did me some steamed broccoli, and that's what's for dinner tonight.
Exciting.
Tim is very excited about this one, needless to
Not
say.
about the broccoli.
We'll know about the ribs. That's what's for dinner tonight. Tonight we're having the easiest thing I can come up with on a busy day when we don't really have time to cook or eat. Quickest thing we can do is breakfast food. We do it together. Tim's got biscuits. We both got...
Yeah.
Biscuits are his food love language. We both got scrambled eggs with cheese, grits, sausage. I've got toast with jelly, and try to be healthy, I'm having a little clementine. Oh, Tim wants me to show you this.
Biscuit syrup.
Not to be confused with the one that has the pancake on it.
Because it is pancake syrup.
That's just for pancakes. He has to have the right kind of syrup. I think Blackburn is a Southern or a Mississippi thing.
Since 1927.
So that's what's for dinner tonight. I've got some of this almond milk soup base left from making potato soup. Rather than making another soup, I dug around, Googled, and found a recipe on a Don't Miss Dairy website for a chicken and rice casserole using almond milk. I'm going to hope that this almond milk soup base is close enough, and I'm just going to wing this recipe. I'm cutting it in half for the two of us. Rather than baking it in the oven, I'm going to try to cook it in my little small West Bend 3.5 quart little crock pot. And I'm going to add some extra vegetables like a little bit of carrot and maybe some mushrooms. But I will leave a link to the recipe, and we're going to cross our fingers that this one comes out good. Make a chicken and rice casserole. I pretty much followed the recipe from this Don't Miss Dairy website. I sauteed the vegetables on the stove and then added the seasonings the recipe called for, paprika and Italian, salt and pepper. Then I added a little extra, some onion salt and some white pepper, and then some garlic at the end. Then I took some flour and spread out over the sauteed vegetables and then combined it until I couldn't see any more flour, and cooked it another 30 to 60 seconds to get out any floury, pasty kind of taste. And then I added some chicken stock and mixed that up and deglazed my pan a little bit. And then, like I said, I was trying to use up some of the rest of this container of the almond milk soup base, so I used that rather than regular almond milk. I don't follow directions very well. I thought it wasn't enough liquid, so I added some more of the almond milk soup base. Then you add your brown rice and mix it all to combine. At this point, the recipe calls for it to go in a casserole dish and be baked in the oven. The author of this recipe had a note in the bottom that you could do it in a crock pot, so I went that route. I took the same skillet that I sauteed the vegetables in and just pan-seared my chicken strips. I just used one breast for the two of us, and I used salt, pepper, and some Mrs. Dash chicken seasoning, and then nestled the chicken pieces in with the creamy soup mixture and the rice to cook in my crock pot. To go with the chicken and rice, I steamed some green beans until they were really soft. We don't like them crisp tender. We like them soft. And I didn't have any Italian dressing, so I sort of winged it with what I did have. I used olive oil, a splash of balsamic, some Italian seasoning, some oregano, garlic, salt and pepper, and then I threw in a little bit of almonds, and we're going to have that with the chicken and rice. Well, Tim's having it right now.
Bob and Marvin.
So I just sort of winged everything. I will leave a link to the recipe I loosely followed for the chicken and rice in the crock pot. Tim's already tasted it, said it was pretty good. And the green beans and some garlic cheese bread, and that's what's for dinner tonight.
I said it was very good.
You said the chicken and rice was very good?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sweetheart. That's what's for dinner tonight. I've been wanting to try to make a mug cake for a while now, and I found a recipe from the allrecipes.com website. I'll leave a link below for a chocolate mug cake. Most of the comments said if you used even a regular oversized mug, it would overflow, so I got out one of my cereal bowls. I mixed up the dry ingredients and then added the wet ingredients, got it all mixed up, and to be extra chocolatey, I added a few chocolate chips. I put it in the microwave for 1 minute and 45 seconds. I wish that I had had some vanilla ice cream or whipped cream to go on top, but Tim and I both tasted it, decided we would be really good, and rather than eating the whole thing each, we split it. But I would definitely get vanilla ice cream or whipped cream to have on top of it. It was delicious and a keeper for us. After dinner last night, I put together a half portion of my regular breakfast casserole. So this was a little bonus. What's for breakfast? It sat all night in the fridge. It will go in the oven at 350 degrees. The full size 9x13 goes for about 60 minutes. I'll check this one at 50. I just layered bread, cooked sausage, cheese, and then a custard of eggs, seasonings, and milk, and bake it up. And that's what's for breakfast. It did not take the full hour for a half. Mine was done in about 48 minutes. Breadstick, chopsticks, and jalapeno slices. Only my sweet baby.
Only problem is they get shorter.
They do, because you bite them off. We were out running errands and doing more Christmas shopping. We stopped at a place called Nuke's. Tim ordered the spicy shrimp pizza, and I got a Caesar salad with their homemade tomato basil soup. It was a cold night, and mine was delicious. Tim loved his pizza, and we had leftovers another night from our meal. Another night, more Christmas shopping and errands. Tim offered Chinese, which he knows is the way to my heart. This is actually our normal lunch spot. We'd never been here for dinner. We ordered dinner for two, which included a little sampler appetizer plate. It had egg rolls, chicken wings, and something in this foil that we didn't know what it was, but it was actually amazingly delicious. We also had egg drop soup. And then for our appetizers, I got something different. I tried the shrimp egg foo young, which was really good. And Tim got General Tso's chicken. We also had enough from this to have another meal or lunch at home. We were gone another full day. We were able to help our nephew Zach move into his brand new house that he bought. And we all went out to eat burgers at Five Guys after a long day of moving. Thanks so much for stopping by our channel. Let's Cook, y'all. Hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe. Have a wonderful and blessed day, y'all.